Good morning everyone and welcome back to another video here in studio where today we'll be taking a look at an upcoming or already released set, depending on where you are in the world, and this is a part of the Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets set releasing in the summer of 2021. And for those of you that don't know what this part is supposed to be representative of the Great Hall. Now, as soon as the instructions were available on June 1st, I quickly got to work building this in studio, because out of the entire set, it's great. I don't mind it. It's a great play piece, but I was a bit disappointed with the Great Hall interior, and that is just because I have a better Great Hall. It's pretty lackluster. I wouldn't have even minded them repeating the Great Hall, but they did such a bad job of it. I think they should have just gone for the Dueling Club, or should have done something else. So I played around with a couple of ideas. I was considering the Infirmary for a while. I was considering the library for a while, but these are all things that fit in the other Green Roof sets from the 2010s period. So today we're going to finish up this build and we're going to turn it into the corridor that leads to a courtyard inside the castle. Now, this is of two inspirational sources. This is going to be off the corridor where the heir of Salazar Slytherin writes on the wall, "The chamber has been opened in blood," and petrified Mrs. Norris the cat. But it's also going to be based off the courtyard where Draco gets turned into a weasel in year 4, or a ferret, or whatever it is. So we're kind of merging things, but I think this doesn't really look like the Great Hall from the outside. I think it just looks like a glorified corridor. So why not make it something a bit different that we've never had in one of the other Harry Potter sets? So I'm going to do the full build, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the rest of it then. So from the outside, nothing really has changed, but if we swing around, you'll see that there's quite a lot going on here, and it's a bit excessive. So firstly, let's just deal with the top, because that's nice and simple, and we can get that out of the way. So I didn't touch any of the details around the back. You've still got this this ball, this chessboard, some potions, and you would have the sorting hats behind this banner. And now this is sort of been turned into an attic space. So I built up some books and stuff along the front. Now, there isn't usually a wall on this side here. This wall is actually an easy remove wall, and we'll get to why that is later on. But I just want to add some more clutter to make this feel more like a in-sealed loft than just some random awnings at the top. So not really anything particular or special, but it is there all the same. But if we move down, you can start to see what I mean about the courtyard. So we turned the thoroughfare into the corridor, and then outside here you have this little garden section. And for those of you who haven't really seen the set, this section here, these 4 plates were originally in dark tan and were an extension of the Great Hall that was actually attached to the piece below it. And in a part 2 follow-up to this, I want to redo the other sets and combine them with the 2010 Hogwarts. So that will make more sense in the future. But this was the extension piece that was attached to the Chamber of Secrets, and then all of this section was removable. So I thought it was a really nice use of that space rather than doing an extended classroom. It actually makes it look like it's part of this outside, then stretches off into the distance, which I like as a nice touch. You kind of got this representation of a bit more of a willowy tree, but obviously at a very small, cheapified scale, and you've got some more plants using the quills upside down in a very simple technique. And obviously I was even more restricted by the fact that I wanted this part to detach. So I'm going to hide a couple of bits here, and then we can take a closer look at the inside of the part of this castle that we've modified. So as I remove the tree here, you can start to see a bit more of the wall decorations. Now, I've accidentally taken a couple of bits with me, but we can fix that soon enough. There we go. And you can see that I just kept it to this nice simple removable wall. So I replicated the arches, and I've got a reference on screen for you. And because they didn't quite fit right, we also added some decorative columns, which I think look quite nice. Now, this section of wall is also easily detachable. You can see here this 1x16 across the top, and everything connected to that is part of this removable wall, so you can get access to the interior, which we'll take a look at now. So coming down from the inside, you can see we got a run of 6 candles. Now, probably some of those are a bit excessive, but I like the repetition there. We've got some candles. At the other end, you can see some splodges, and that is, again, something to the future that hopefully we'll see when I do part 2, because this room should, in theory, if it looks good, connect to the bathroom Polyjuice Potion Mistake set that's coming out. So this is supposed to represent part of that petrified Mrs. Norris scene where Moaning Myrtle's bathroom has overflown, and that's what we're seeing here on the floor is the overflown bathroom. You've got two of the benches, which I took reference from number 5, Order of the Phoenix, where Dolores Umbridge separates people on benches. So I thought they were a nice way to spruce up this corridor, because that is one thing, it's much emptier than the Great Hall. So this is less of a play piece and more of something else. But once you add in those trees and stuff, I think it really livens it up, and I'm actually really pleased with this modification. Up on the central back, you can see a stand-in for what would be the orange tabby cat representing Mrs. Norris. And I think this is a nice inclusion here to show the cat hanging from the wall. Obviously, we don't have the big red text because they've never done that in a big printed form, but I think the petrified cat is still a nice touch to fill up this hallway. Well, that's pretty much all the details we have to show. I kept the outside pretty much the same, and obviously the same is true for up here in this roof. It's very similar to the original model, and I think where this will really shine is when we actually attach it to the rest. But of course, as you will know, building things in Studio takes time, so bear with me while I build the rest of the model. And trust me, I do plan on going back to my other projects like Chinatown. This was just an urgent one while the set's still popular and while the mod was in my head. So that's something to look forward to. The rest of this set will get mocked in a couple of weeks once I have time to build it. And apart from that, I hope look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.